You think I could have been on time today, don't you? It's not saying anything. There we go. Welcome everybody to Farmhouse Fabrics, and yay! Regina's back. Regina's back.
I'm here.
So I'm
I made it.
gonna say this for Regina's sake. She's hitting the ground running.
That's right. I kissed the ground when I got home. I was so happy.
Is your luggage with you?
No, my luggage is still in Rome. I might get it back out. I might pay the ransom and get it back soon.
So is it worth the $450 ransom or whatever? Maybe, huh? You have stuff in there you really... She has to pay DHL to get it back.
Yeah.
So,
$405.
$405.
And they've already taken my money, but it's being held up with customs now. So, and why, I don't know, because it wasn't supposed to be anything to do with Italian customs.
But now she has to tell them the country of origin of every single item that was in her suitcase.
Yeah, they want to know where it was made, how much it was, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's none of your business, really, because it wasn't coming to your country to start with.
So are they like pulling a piece out saying, okay, here is, here are some petty pants.
Yeah. And they have the tag, so you should know where they're made, okay?
Right.
It's like...
We said, just tell them everything was made in China.
It's made in China. It's not worth a whole lot, so just send it all back. It's already paid double, triple for it. So
Regina, can you give just a simple little recap for people that haven't been following, like how long you were gone, where you went? Regina's been on a European trip. And it ended, the grand finale was that she spent 5 days in London taking the Royal School of Needlework with our good friend Jane Seeley. And so they roomed together. They had an awesome time. But prior to that, you were with your husband and your daughter. And
right.
We
left on July 11th, and we flew to London, and we spent 5 days in London doing the sightseeing and stuff like that. And then we took the fast train to Scotland, so that my daughter could meet up with a friend that she had met online, which turned out to be absolutely great.
Those are some cute pictures.
They had so much fun, and
yeah.
She was a sweet little girl, and they just, I turned her loose in Glasgow, believe it or not, and they just went and did anything and everything except I had 360 on the phone, so I knew where they were.
Yeah.
And we weren't very far away at any time, but they just had the best time because she thought she was off on her own. Mm-hmm. And they had a great time, so we spent the 5 days up there. I had to extend it by a day because while she was visiting her friend, I was going to do the Outlander tour and by myself. Well, then she and John decided they'd want to go. Well, they had no clue what that was about, but they wanted to go on the tour. So we spent an extra day so they could go on the tour with me, and it was fabulous.
Did everybody love it?
They loved it too. They really did. They enjoyed it, and that was the first real castles that Kaylee got to see.
Oh, that's when you went to the castles?
Yeah, and she was really excited about that. And she was on the bus with, there were 16 of us, I think, on there. She was the only teenager. And sometimes the descriptions of the movie and stuff was a little bit, you know, she's like, Mom!
I was about to ask if they've watched it now.
No, they haven't, but she's like, Mom, what were you watching? What were they doing? Because the bus driver was really graphical, he explained a lot of stuff, and she just kept on looking at me. I was like, just turn around, be quiet. and so anyway, we enjoyed that, and then we took the train back to London, and we stayed there 5 more days, and then we flew to Rome and stayed there 2 days. And then we boarded a cruise ship for 8 days around the Mediterranean. And
wow.
Probably the highlight of that is because it was so hot, I didn't get off the ship. I didn't care at that point, and I just stayed on. But we got off in Marseille, and we got to see them practicing for the Olympics, the sailing. It was being held in Marseille, and so we got to see that, and that was cool. And on a very hot day, but we went back to the ship.
She was there in a heat wave.
I was there at the biggest heat wave, and I did not deal with the heat that well. Mm-hmm. You'd think coming from South Carolina, but we have air conditioning. Mm-hmm. Well, any place you got off and went into, any shop or anything, restaurants were not air conditioned.
Wow.
And they only give you about 2 pieces of ice in your drink, and it was suffocating.
And she was like rubbing them on her head.
Oh, they didn't even last. They melted in your hand. It was ridiculous, but... and I'll have to get this out of the way. For some reason, they have all decided to go sugar-free.
Oh.
I only could, thank God, could get my Coke for breakfast that was Coke Classic, but any other drink after that was zero.
Like Coke too?
Coke zero, Sprite zero, anything was zero.
Wow.
I was amazed. I mean, I couldn't believe.
So if you're addicted to sugar, you're going to have to take your own in your suitcase.
Yeah.
Although they might think it's something else, not sugar.
Yeah, right. And it was like, that was a shock, you know.
Yeah,
and then, of course,
is.
the paper straws. And people, please, you don't want paper straws.
Melt in your mouth.
They were disgusting. They did melt in your mouth. And so, but that was something unusual. I never really thought of it. And the other thing that I thought was absolutely important and that the United States could learn, every place you went to eat, when you walked in the door, they asked if there were any food allergies.
Oh, wow.
Every single restaurant.
Wow.
Even if it was McDonald's, it didn't matter where it was. Do you have a food allergy? And
I wonder if they sit you in a different section.
no. And you go in and you say, and they said, okay, if you do, then make sure you tell your waiter or waitress. And I had no problems, and it was awesome because I have seafood allergies, and you don't think, okay, I don't have to eat seafood, but everything they cook in the same thing with seafood, I can't eat. And so I have to really watch the menu. Well, they made it, our hotel, the guy said, no problem. He cooked everything I needed separately. I mean, it was awesome.
Wow, that's great.
And I told John, I said, that's the best thing they could do ever in the United States because kids, you know, everybody has so many allergies now, and nobody here cares. I mean, you can go to a restaurant and I have asked before, and they'll swear up and down the person that waits on me, and then they'll come back after I've ordered and they'll say, oh, you can't have that because they do cook it with the same. And it's like, well, gee, thanks, you know. So that was a good thing. I thought that was probably the best thing going for how the changes had come about, because there were so many changes that I couldn't believe it. And I told Jane, I said that when we got to, you know, after I flew back from Rome to London to meet up with Jane, we met at the airport, which was great, and went to our hotel together and stuff. And I told her, I said, everything has just changed so much. And she said, well, it's kind of like, you know, we see changes every day that's made. And when you haven't seen a change like that, you know, because I always think about if my grandmother was living today, what would she think about the changes? Well, that's how I was when I got there, because it was just like, wow, it was overwhelming.
Because how many years ago did you live there?
It had been 40 years since I had been, I had lived there. And so, of course, I thought everything's going to be the same. It was old when I lived there, so why wouldn't it not be old now? Older. But it wasn't. Everything was all new and modern. And, you know, we walked into one of the shops. I used to shop at John Lewis. And when we walked into this shop, it looked like you walked to a football stadium. I mean, we walked in the doors, and everything is terraced in front of you. So the escalators go up, and they go up, and they go up. But you could see every single thing around you. I mean, it was amazing.
That's kind of neat.
It was neat, because I was like, well, look, there. We can go over there and shop. We can shop over there, you know.
So if you don't follow Regina yet and you're new and this is the first time you've met Regina, you can see a lot of her pictures on Come Sew With Me on Facebook, because she gave us a travel log and it was a day by day. It was wonderful. People really followed her. I enjoyed it so much, and sometimes I would read it out loud and we'd sit here and we would just chuckle, you know, at the things they did. But the gardens were beautiful. I mean, the experiences were really interesting.
Yeah. And it was, I thought about, you know, that hit me after the first night we got there, because I thought, of course, I had jet lag, couldn't sleep, so I'm up, and I think, you know what, I'm just going to write about everything I did today, and then put the pictures with it. And then when I got home, I told John, my husband, that I said, that was really good doing that, because sometimes you get back, you don't remember what you saw, what you did, you know, but by writing it and redoing it and looking at the photos, I did remember, you know. And even, I gave him a whole rundown on Henry VIII yesterday. A lot of things he didn't even know. And I'm sure he wasn't real interested, but I told him anyway, because I got the behind the scenes info, you know. Because at the Royal School of Needlework is held at Hampton Court Palace. And once we checked in and got security badges, we had the run of the palace. And so we could go all through anywhere we wanted to. But they had also set up like 2 different days. We got a private tour with a very knowledgeable lady that worked there, and she was very animated and made it really fun, and so she told the whole history. And then the next tour we got was behind the scenes of the school, where we got to go in and see where they do all the restoration work. And they do commission work for people and stuff like that. And we really didn't find out how much it cost to have something done, but I don't think from the way they talked that it would cost a whole lot, but the work was beautiful. And the lady was telling us that one fella came in and he had taken a photograph of his wife's wedding bouquet. And for their 25th wedding anniversary, he wanted that done in needlework.
Oh my goodness, I love
And I mean, I
that.
know we were all like, oh, what a nice guy, you know.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
so she said they recreated the whole thing in needlework for a thing for her,
Wow.
and it was so special.
Did they have a picture or anything? That would have been
No,
neat
they
to
were
see.
working on another piece for somebody that they showed us and told us it was for the lady's 70th birthday, and the husband was having it made, and she said her name was Dodo. They called her Dodo. Well, they had the dodo bird on this. They had put a dodo bird, and then they had put her favorite bird in a corner and a different bird that she liked on the other corner, and then it was all flowers. I mean, it was just beautiful.
That's neat.
But they were working on that, you know, and then they showed us how they restored pieces, things you would never think of how they did it, and it was just really cool to watch. And they had one piece, and the photograph is on one of my days. It was a huge, huge piece of work that they had done for this old fella. And I said he had to live in a castle somewhere because he needed a really big wall to put that on. And it took the lady 5 years to do it.
Wow.
And down at the bottom in the very corner is a teeny little snail that she added. And she said that because that was Snell's work. And so she put that little snail in. It was so cute. But he passed away, and so their family gave it back to the royal school to hang in the
That's
building.
so neat.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
She said they get a lot of work back like that people have, you know, passed away and they donate it back that they've done, and so it was very
Well, that's
interesting.
better than somebody not knowing what to do with it and not taking good care of it.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
That's
Because the
good.
work is exquisite,
Yeah.
and that whole team that was there worked on the carnation, 9 of the carnation pieces. And then the teacher that we had, she worked on the carnation pieces as well, but she also did the Carrick-Macross lace for Catherine's dress, her wedding dress, and her shoes and her veil. And so, of course, we got all the behind-the-scene talk about it. And she could tell us, there were things she couldn't tell us. And if you ask questions, she's like, I can't tell you that, you know. But she told us all about doing it and how they had to sign something that they would not reveal what they were working on. And that they couldn't talk about it, and that they had to work at night, and they had to wear jogging suits, no makeup, and their hair up in ponytails as a disguise. Because when they left the place or coming, they didn't want people to know what they were doing.
Right.
And so she said that they were going home one morning in the taxi, and the taxi driver asked them what they'd been doing, and she said they worked at night. And then he asked her what they did, and she said they passed a shop, and she saw it was a cobbler shop, and she said, "Oh, we're cobblers." And the other girls looked at her. She said they all looked at me, and it was like when we got out, they said, "Why did you tell them that?" She said, "Well, people don't need their shoes at night when they're sleeping, and we're working." She said it's all I could think of.
That's funny.
So it really was funny. And she said that after the wedding that they had later on after the honeymoon and stuff, when William and Kate came back, they had a reception for all the people that had worked on stuff and invited them. And so she went, and she said that when she got to Kate in the reception line, that Kate goes, "Helen, I wouldn't even have recognized you." And she said, "Well, of course not."
Oh, because she only ever saw her with no makeup.
No makeup and her hair up
yeah.
in a ponytail, because she was really cute, really pretty. And she said, "I wore a really pretty silk dress that I had," and she said, and she didn't even recognize me.
Oh.
So that was fun, you know, getting the
Yeah.
background
Yeah.
stuff and that. So
Well, Vicki says, what a wonderful experience. And Mary Dickens says, love hearing about your trip. Amazing trip.
well, thank you. It was amazing. I was gone a month, and so that, you know, I was really kind of glad to be home when the last day finally got there. I was like, oh, I just want to be in my own bed, you know.
And they're all glad you're back because it's just like blah, 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 blah. I thought, man.
It was really funny too, and I'll tell you, when I got home, my brother said, "It's a good thing you came home." He said, "Sally's about to go crazy." He said, "I could just
Did he
tell
say
watching that video." He said, "This is what he said yesterday." He said, she was standing there and she was talking, and he said she had a roll of ribbon in her hand, and he said said, you know, she started talking about you about something, and then she goes, oh, and this is ribbon, blup. That was it. And I was laughing so hard.
I do, but it's hard when you're just talking.
And there's nobody to talk to.
Yeah, and you're like, man, this is really boring. And all week long, knowing that I had to do it by myself, I just kept a piece of paper by my desk and I wrote down things to talk about. And then, of course, when it got to Friday, you know I couldn't find that piece of paper because you know how messy I am. It's like, where is my paper? Where is my paper? I still haven't found my paper, but I could remember some of the things because I wrote them down. Well, Regina brought me a gift, and I wanted to show everybody. It's so wonderful, and I love blue and white. And tell them about this.
Jane and I went. Hampton Court Palace is right near the little village that I lived in when I lived there. And so we went to East Molesey. We walked down across the river bridge and into the village, and we went into the antique shop. And I was like, I have to get Sally something, and I'm going to get blue and white because I know that's what she likes. So
I do love blue and white.
I went in there, and they had this little dish, and I said, this is it. This is what I'm getting.
I love that. Yep. It says Spode, England, Italian Spode design.
Yeah, so it's probably some Italian.
Circa 1816.
Some Italian picture on it, but it was like, okay, it's coming from my village.
I wanted to say, this is where we did our needlework. And this,
that's right.
This is where Henry VIII hid his wives.
Our classroom, I'll just tell you, was in the palace, and it was upstairs.
I'm going to go to the overhead and show you up close.
And it was really neat. But that part of when I lived there, and in 1986, that part of the palace burned. It caught on fire.
Aww.
And I remember the day that it caught on fire because the sirens were going off everywhere in our village and everything. And it was a big deal. Well, the rooms we were in had been refurbished a little bit, enough to bring it back to life. And so that's where our classes were held.
I think that's neat. When you got to see the kitchen or
Oh yeah, and it was cool because there was a lift that went up. We were on the 3rd floor, and when we went, there was a lift behind a door, a big wooden door, and it was in a part where people could actually tour around through there, but you didn't open that door. So it was really fun. Every day when Jane and I came down the lift, opened that door to come out, people were like, "Oh wow, they're royalty."
Yeah,
they were thinking it was somebody really
royalty.
special. And then we'd just close the door back and walk off like we were part of it. It was so funny.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
What a neat experience. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Well, she's got other things to show, too.
Yeah, I brought some things that I had purchased there, but we'll talk about this stuff first if you want to.
All right.
It's smocking season.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should show your dress. Let's show your dress next.
Oh, my
That's
dress.
really
I forgot
pretty.
about the dress. I made this dress the week before I left so that I'd have something when I got back.
This is so pretty.
This was one of Joyce Welch's collars from Applique for Kids. And so it had just come out a couple of days before I left. So I thought, okay, I have to make that and have it ready. So it's really cute.
This is the Bonnie Blue Anna Catherine pattern. And, of course, I went over there to get it and then never
it's just
did.
a little...
Isn't that sweet?
A-line dress. It's just really cute.
So the collar, tell them about that collar.
This collar is all made in the hoop. And if you like to do projects like that, they're really fun and easy. And Joy's work is, it's great.
It is.
And very easy to do. Her instructions are awesome. And if you know me, you know that I really like to do all her collars. And she just came out. The day I got home, there was one I saw, and I'm like, okay, click that. I'll make that next week, because it's just so cute. So that's what.
Jane chimed in. She says, "I'm watching you."
Hey,
Oh,
Jane.
I learned something about Jane.
Yeah.
It's possible that if you ever sleep with Jane, you need to take your earplugs because she might snore.
I didn't tell her that, Jane, because I was too tired to worry about if you snored or not.
I'm teasing you because guess what? I have the same issue. But
Well, I know she probably heard me snoring.
What?
Lalani wants to see that up.
Yeah, we
Okay.
will. We'll go to the overhead. But when Regina wrote about their first day at the hotel, Regina, you got to tell that because it was on the 3rd floor.
We walk into this hotel, and it was really nice down. Everything was real nice downstairs and everything. It turned out it was an old pub that had been refurbished into a hotel. And so the girls checked us in, and then she said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, we don't have a lift." I'm like looking at Jane, you know, okay, I only had a carry-on piece of luggage, and Jane had this monster suitcase, and I'm thinking, how are we supposed to go on the 3rd floor with this suitcase? And I said, no lift. And she said, oh, I said, I don't know how we're going to get up there. She said, oh, I'll carry that for you. I said, okay, that's a really good thing.
Oh,
and
really?
So the girl that checked us in actually brought the bags up.
Oh, man.
But we got started, and I didn't count the first day. Jane did, and 31 steps to get up to our room. But the reason I was upset about this was because it was really hot. And the place was not air conditioned downstairs. So when we walked in, I didn't even think about it. I just was hot, you know. We climb 31 steps, and I'm really hot, and we walk in our room, and it was very nice, but the girl turns around and she goes, oh, and here is your fan.
No,
like,
no air conditioning.
Fan? There's no air conditioner in this room. Oh, no, we're not allowed to have one. I'm like, oh, my gosh, you got to be kidding me. So the window was open, and we had a fan, and it was 90 degrees. Okay.
But it's because it's historical, right? And they can't change it up?
Turned out that the fellow that worked there, he told us the story behind it. It was like 300 or 400 years old, and it had been a pub, part of Hampton Court Palace, and that there had been some really brawdy fights in there, and people had died, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, wonderful. He said, we probably have ghosts. I'm like, that's okay. I'm so tired. I don't care. I'm too hot to worry about ghosts. And he said that it's listed as an A1 building, and so in an A1 building you can't make changes, so they couldn't put in air conditioning.
Wow.
That's like, you got to be kidding me.
That stinks.
Wow.
But after about
they were
3
having a heat
days,
wave.
yeah, after 3 days it cooled back down, and then we kind of got okay. I wasn't perfect, but it was much more tolerable at that point because at night it got really cool. A couple of times we came in and they had closed our window.
Oh, boy.
It was like, here we go again, you know, get that fan going. And then Jane and I went to London, and we were in a shop that sold little fans. I should have brought my little fan today. Anyway, it's a little handheld fan, and man, was it good. It saved me a few times because I thought I'm going to pass out. It was so hot in those stores. No store in London had air conditioning.
Wow.
I mean, it was crazy.
Wow.
We were
I
in
hate to
Liberty of
work in a
London.
store like that.
Let me tell you, ladies, Liberty of London was suffocating. I mean, I went to the bathroom in there, and it was just like, oh my gosh, sweat was just pouring off me. And they had, each register, they had a little fan. I was like, okay, move over. Jane was being waited on, and I was like pushing the person out. I said, I have to have some air. You know, I said, I am burning up. And then poor guy in this department was sweating too. He's like, yeah, it's really hot. And I'm like, yeah. It's like,
Wow.
I mean,
I'm not
can't.
sure what this means, but Jane says, watch out for bubbles.
That's why I said with Regina, we're hitting the ground running. We're hitting the ground is the
Face first, okay?
Those are the operative words.
Jane and I are crossing the street in London, and on every place where you cross the street, they had little things about 1.5 inches around that were stuck up on the sidewalk, you know,
speed
like a
bumps.
grated thing. And so apparently when I started to walk across the street, my toe got hung on that shoe on one, and I just went flat face first behind a bus. Okay, I'm laying there like a speed bump. And I'm thinking,
All the things she was carrying, like all
I
over
had
the
my
road, right?
phone in my hand, and I remember throwing everything to try to catch myself, and all I hear is Jane, oh, Regina! And I'm like, get me up. I don't want to be run over. And it hurt so bad. I was just laying there because my glasses had hit my face, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I probably cut, you know. Well, I had a big bruise on this side of my face, but it was like, oh, let me just get up off the cement.
And she's had knee surgery before, too.
Both knees got smashed, you know. So, and we were on our way to afternoon tea. So
Oh, man.
we managed. We got there. We had ended up sitting there
Did
about
they let you in?
sitting there 2 hours. Just like, okay, I can't move. And the longer I sat there, the sore I
I'll
got.
bet more stiff.
My hand, this side of my hand had hit really hard. I couldn't even pick up the teapot, you know.
Oh,
So I'm over there
man.
trying to struggle to
Yeah.
pull the teapot. And Jane and I couldn't quit laughing at that point because it was fun. I mean, it was like a tree going down, you
It's a
know.
good thing you had somebody with you.
Oh, I
right?
know. Oh.
It's a good thing.
And
And Lonnie's replying to the heat wave. She said, meaning go in the winter.
Oh.
Any other time. Well, the winter can be just as bad as the heat in the summer, but go in the spring or the fall because then the weather is halfway decent, you know. But, I mean, when I lived there, I'm honestly, 70 was a hot summer day.
Oh, wow.
I mean, people were out stripping off their clothes in the park, sunbathing and stuff, and on a 70-degree day, because it was like 55 every day. I was so cold the whole time I was there. And our house didn't have air conditioning either, but we never needed air conditioning. I just wanted more heat, you know. And that's why I never thought about it. But the hotels that I stayed in London prior to that were air conditioned. So that's why I never thought about that place not having one.
So next time they take a trip, they need to double check on that, right?
Yeah. Make sure you look at the weather. I had looked at the weather the entire time, and it was cold in Scotland. I had to wear long pants and just a short sleeve shirt. I was very comfortable, never got hot. It was just perfect weather. Well, then the heat wave came, and those long pants and those short sleeve shirts were too hot. It was like, oh, I can't breathe. And I told John, I said, what happened to my summer clothes? I don't think I packed enough, you know, because it was so hot. But I survived it. And I would say, and Jane and I both talked about it, we'd stay at the same hotel again if we went back, you know, because we really liked the hotel. The chef was wonderful. The food was great. So it was like...
You were in a great location, too, weren't you?
Oh, we were just... The back of our hotel looked over the wall into the palace, over the maze that's back there. And I had so much fun on a Sunday, because everybody is out on a Sunday, and the weather was hot, and they thought it was wonderful. And they're all in the maze, and so when we're starting down those stairs, there's a window right by that, and I could see everybody going through the maze. Left, go left. I was screaming out the window, go right. And they're like, where's that coming from? It was really funny. But it was, yeah, we just had about a 10-minute walk around the corner to get to our class, so it was really nice.
That's great.
Yeah. There was a hotel straight across the street that had been recommended from the palace entrance, but when I looked there, it said they only had bathtubs. Well, I didn't want a bathtub. I wanted a shower. And then they didn't have twin beds. So I thought, well, I'm friends with Jane and we're okay and everything, but, you know, we might need twin beds.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked the other hotel to start with. And it was perfectly fine. We really enjoyed it. And the people that worked there were wonderful. So they were so nice and friendly.
Yeah,
and
that's neat.
Young girls, you know, and they were cool.
Well, Teresa says, Regina, I'm glad you are back. I am living through you vicariously.
And Becky said her daughter lives in Cambridge and works in London, so she's going to plan a visit and enroll in a class. So thank you for
Awesome.
sharing.
Yes. And I'll tell you something else about the classes. You know, they held classes here in Lexington, Kentucky this year. They've had them there twice.
Wow.
But of course, when Jane and I
that's
knew
an
that,
hour up the road.
yeah, Jane and I knew that, but we wanted the whole real experience of going, you know, which I am going back again at some point. But we talked to the teacher, and she said that they're not bound to that location, that they move around. Now, she said they taught classes in Iowa, and I was really shocked that they taught classes in Iowa.
People.
Yeah. And so we told her, she said that they go wherever they can find a location that can handle them.
But
Well,
the
Jane and I
groups aren't
knew-
that big, are they?
Mm-mm.
Are you gonna get her going for
We're
the
gonna
where
go
your retreat
where,
is?
well, I could do that too, but Jane's gonna write a letter to the school recommending the Embassy Suites in Charleston, because that's where the National Saga Convention was held, so we know they can deal with it, you know, and it would be really awesome. Yeah, I invited her to come over to my retreat, and she's like, I can do it. You just let me know when. I'm like, okay,
Wow.
that would be really cool, you know. And
Well,
she said she was going down to Wendy Shane's school, and at some
She
point,
is? Oh, good.
she said Wendy had invited
Well,
her
you
there.
really love the people, the teachers, didn't you?
Oh, I love the teacher. Everybody in that school is fabulous. I'm telling you, they were the nicest, kindest people. Jane had me a nervous wreck. They were going to beat my hands off, you know, before I went, because I did not really know how to do
She
all these
ain't a
stitches.
handwork person.
I'm not a handwork person. I do machine embroidery.
But she'll show you in
I've
a
been
little
trying
while
to
what she's done.
practice a little
really,
few
really
stitches,
pretty,
you
really
know,
pretty.
before I went, and I got in there. It was so relaxed. I never felt so calm in a class because it was just so laid back and relaxed, and I wasn't nervous at all. I was like, well, I'm here to learn. If I learn something, fine. If I don't, I won't, you know, because I'm not going to get stressed out about this. And so when we had to introduce ourselves to the class, and this was mine, I told them, because Jane had said she went before me, and it had always been on her bucket list to go there and everything, you know, and all about her. I said, well, it never was on my bucket list. I said, I'll tell you now, because I didn't start sewing until late in life. And I said, I figured I didn't have enough years left to ever learn how to do this. and I said, so I really wasn't interested in coming. I said, but something happened last year, and it just one day out of the clear blue, I was like, I want to go to that school. And so, I mean, I just decided, and so I told Jane about it. She's like, really? You really want to go? I said, yeah. I said,
You knew she'd be with you.
And I knew she'd be there, and I said, let's go. So I got it organized, and we went. And
Jane's a traveler, and she's also a handwork person.
Yes, and Jane knew what to do. And so I went, and I absolutely loved it, and I wasn't stressed because it was just, the teacher was so good, you know, and I think that's what made it. And plus, she had it on a screen. Everything she did, you could see it on the screen up in front of the class. It wasn't like you had to go look over her shoulder to find out, you know, and do this. And it just was awesome the way it was taught. And that girl has her name is Helen McCook. If you want to look her up, her bio it took me an hour to read it to Jane. And we were in a taxi, and it took me an hour to read that bio because she has done so much stuff.
Wow.
And it was so cool. And she was fun. I mean, the stuff she told us was hilarious at our little breaks and stuff, you know. And it just was very relaxed and calming. And so, yeah.
Gail said she would love to go and take some classes.
So,
Who said that?
Gail Butler.
Oh,
yeah.
Gail.
So, Gail, at some point you may want to go. If they come back, you know, check it out next year. They'll be in the States. You don't have to go all the way to England.
Yeah,
and
see, that would be
I would
nice.
take them here, too. I mean, wherever they come again, that's where I'll be, you know, to take something. And we even got to tour the class that was next to ours that was all gold work.
Wow.
And all of these students were like it was their last class of becoming
They were working
a
on
teacher.
their PhD.
Yeah. When you get to the gold work class, they were finishing up, but they had to design the piece they were working on.
Oh, man.
And then it was all gold with all gold thread. And when I say thread, it's not just thread, it's like gold wire and stuff. I mean, it's real gold stuff. And it was just beautiful. I think there were probably 8 or 10 people in there. And it was real interesting because only one of them, and I know that she was from another country because she had broken English when we talked to her, but all the rest were Asian that were in there. There were 2 from South Korea that we talked to that were really nice girls. But I thought that was real interesting that they all came to.
Well, Carol Brown says, it's been on my bucket list also. Let's get a group and go together.
Hey,
That's
how
right,
many,
Carol.
How many people were in your class?
There were 12 in the class. And
So
there
it's
was
really a pretty small class.
They're very small class, and I think that's probably about what they do for all of them. They don't take a large class, but it was real nice. And there were one young girl. It was nice to see 2 young girls that were like in their early 20s, and they were college age. They were still in college, and they. One was from France. She was from Paris, and then the other one was from northern England. And then there was a lady from Switzerland, and then Jane and I, and there was either 3 or 4 others that were from the U.S., and then the rest were British. The other 3 were British. So it was a nice mix, you know, and everybody talked about everything, and you know, so it was just real interesting the conversations. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you really want to do something different and.
Well,
Never too old to learn, because she told me, Helen, when I told her that it wasn't on my bucket list, I was too old for it. And she said, no. She said, my oldest student was 92.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, well, I got a long time. I can
that's right.
I can perfect this and get this piece done before I'm 92.
I don't know.
I can hold out.
There's a whole lot of work on that piece.
Yeah,
Oh,
somebody
my
asked me if I was
goodness.
going to put it on my Facebook. Well, it's not finished, you know. And then John said, well, how long you think that's going to take you to finish that? A few months? I'm like, see how long the house stays dirty.
Yeah.
I said, then you'll know how long it took me.
But for somebody who really doesn't do handwork, for you to be able to do 5 days devoted to handwork is pretty
I know,
awesome.
it was. And I enjoyed it. That was the thing, you know, that I really sat there, and except my back was killing me a few days, but it was like, okay, this is cool. But we do it on a different frame now.
They did they provide the frames, and they're sit-on frames, right?
Yeah, it was. We were using a 10-inch hoop, and it was on a frame that you slide under your leg
Right,
and do
right.
it. Yeah, But she said we could only do that for this basic parts that we were doing, because once you start using the stones and the beads and the gold work, then you don't want it in a hoop. So we're putting on we got frames that are rectangle, and you sew it on and sew it on, and then roll them.
Okay, yes.
And then so the whole thing is on there. And then I bought a floor frame that comes up, and then the arm comes over, and you put the frame on it, so you can just sit in front of you and do it. So make it much easier than the.
So you'll have that at your house then.
Yeah. I ordered that as soon as I got home, and believe it or not, it came from England, and it came in like 2 days. And my suitcase is still sitting in Rome.
Yeah.
It's like,
You didn't have to use DHL and tell them where it was made.
yeah, it's like,
Oh my
okay,
goodness.
but yeah, so
Well,
the class was really, really fun.
that's neat. We'll show some more things in a minute. I'm going to go to the overhead
Yeah.
for Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. We're going to talk a little more about the Joy Welch collar. And so here we go. And we don't have the overhead for Instagram. I'm sorry. Okay. Do you see it?
There it is.
Do I need to get farther away?
No, I think that's probably good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, so you can see this, the edging, it looks like tatting that she did this one.
That's
And you
pretty.
could run ribbon through the edge of it if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah, you could
like
run a
you
little-
could do a
yeah.
1/8 inch ribbon or
Mhm.
something like that right through there.
Yeah,
That's cute.
so it's really
But I
pretty.
think this is neat because it's only one layer of fabric.
Yeah, you do it on a wash away stabilizer, and then when you wash it, then it's gone, and you have the same. It looks the same just about on the back as it does the front.
So this, it looks like navy blue piping, and it looks like a lace was added. I mean that's so pretty. And then show them what
And
you
then
did on the pockets.
I
The
had
pockets
something
are
that
cute.
kind of looked a little bit like it, so I thought, okay, I can just make these little pockets with this on here, so they're.
Did you sew this edging to the beading, or was that already on there? You sewed it to it.
Yeah, I sewed it on there.
That's cute.
So I stabilize. I put
Yeah,
a
you got a stabilizer in
iron
there.
on.
Yeah, yeah. I love
Yeah.
that.
So
And that's navy, right?
no, it's actually black, and that's a black, but it's a black,
Oh, it
shiny.
is?
It
Oh, it
almost looks
looks-
blue.
It does.
Yeah, because I thought that's not supposed to be blue.
Wow.
It's a black.
'Cause I
It's a
thought,
weird
is that-
black.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, we have
It's
blacks
hard on
like
those
that.
black
as
and blue
it's
colors.
hard. Sometimes we have to lay it on a pair of black pants or
Yeah.
something like that to see does it show blue or not.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful. And this is cute. This is Swiss whale piqué,
Just simple.
baby whale piqué,
Mm-hmm.
and the piqué in the south and piqué in the north.
Piqué.
if you read our
Yeah, so
newsletter,
it's just a little.
that's cute. Anna Catherine by Bonnie Blue.
Yeah. My daughter-in-law sent a note the other day that school had started, and that she had 15 dresses to iron that Josephine had pulled out of her closet she wanted to wear to school.
Oh,
So I can't wait to get this few I have at
Wow.
home to her, so that she'll have some more.
Yeah.
Because Scarlett, the older one, doesn't want to wear dresses at all, but Josephine likes her dresses every day.
Oh, that's fun.
So I'm like, yes,
That's fun.
I
That's
got one like
encouraging,
me.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's encouraging.
I can keep.
Jill says, "Oh gosh, just adorable," and Jeanette says, "Sweet pockets."
They are
Oh,
sweet.
thank you,
They're
yeah.
sweet. Well, at least twice a year, we get a whole new shipment of smocking plates
Mhm.
from Cross-Eyed Cricket. And so, so I brought them down here to show you.
These are so cute.
Aren't they cute?
Uh-huh.
I brought us some pumpkin ones because we've been showing pumpkin fabric. Now, this one's new, called Cattails. But I think no, this is also new. Panda's Prize Pumpkin. This is new. I think this is not new.
No, this is
Well,
22.
Okay, yeah, but this is 2024. But I wanted to show them
They're really sweet.
because of the pumpkin fabrics that we have,
Mm-hmm.
and they're cute. I'm gonna go to the overhead on these because this is also a new pumpkin fabric that came in, and has little orange polka dots and little orange pumpkins. So we have the pumpkin fabric on chambray, which is almost totally gone because our bishop kits are selling like crazy, and then Fabric Finders is not out of that fabric
Right.
for maybe a month. So that's frustrating.
But they should get it back in before. You still have time to order because
Yeah.
they can wear them for Halloween or Thanksgiving, through the October and November.
Yeah, here's another Cross-Eyed Cricket smocking plate it's called Bishop for All Seasons. I'll show it up here. It has 4 4 options, and
It has a pumpkin with a
yeah, it
leaf.
has a pumpkin. It has Christmas, but also we have a kit for with all of the recommended floss for each one of these plates. And so Bishop for All Seasons, and there's a kit called Bishop for All Seasons. So that has
Set for the year.
yeah, it comes with the smocking plate, and it comes with all the floss for all 4 seasons. But
That's
also,
really nice to have, because then you don't have to go start hunting hot floss. Because I'm telling you,
yeah,
you will not have 2 of the colors out of the whole
That's
thing. If
right.
you can have 5,000 things of floss, but you won't have the 2
know,
you
it's
need.
crazy.
It's crazy.
So even this little the bishop part, if you just want to do a little bit of smocking, it'd be very sweet.
Oh yeah,
to go,
and even
to
on the
go
front of
there.
a little baby day gown or something would be
Yeah.
perfect for that.
You can get
you know?
one little item like a
Yeah.
tree or an ornament could
That's
go
what
in.
I need to start out with. One
Yeah,
Yeah, just do
especially-
one thing.
You're
and-
right.
Yeah.
If you're doing a geometric smocking, not so bad, but picture smocking, you don't feel like doing
That's another something I have to
15 of
learn.
the same thing and try and make them look alike.
Geometric is easier.
Geometric
Oh,
is
geometric's
way
so
easier.
easy. Yeah.
Because how are you going to make these 2 cats look exactly alike?
Yeah.
I mean, some people can. Certainly Ann Parker can. She
Yes.
designs these things. She's like the queen of picture smocking.
I know lots of people that can do that just
Yeah.
like that, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah, she's really something. So show them some of these, Regina.
These are really pretty,
These are new,
yeah.
and they are pretty. I do
like-
love geometrics.
This one is blue. It's really pretty. It has some yellow in it. This one's a cornflower blue, it just says, but I love blue and yellow together, and that's so pretty. This one's one that's little angels. Really sweet.
Okay, now this one, the Tiger Alphabet. This has actually two pages because it has every
Oh, okay.
letter of the alphabet. So that's why this one is twice as expensive, because it has every letter of the alphabet with a tiger.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, this was one of the first ones that sold. So here's a picture of a John made up with
All
the
of our
tiger
clips
in
and
it.
fans. There you go. Get your
Clemson
tiger.
and I'm gonna go the overhead on this guy because it's pretty cute.
I was sitting there trying to figure out what it said, and Levi.
Oh, I thought it said beaver.
I thought it said Elvis at first, and I'm like, okay, I really can't read.
Elvis.
Elvis, who wants Elvis on their thing?
Hey, Elvis.
But it was, but I'm trying to think. Okay, that E is after that L. What does it spell?
Here's Rowan. Yeah.
Oh, they picked some really good hard names
Yeah.
there.
Like
They want the overhead.
the overhead for which one? For all of
And
them?
here's the little
The
dinosaur.
salmon smocking plate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Let's see.
this one's a cute one. It has the initials. Has
This one's called Christmas Alphabet. Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty.
see, they have all the alphabet.
Yeah.
Then they have it, or you could just smock it all the way in
Mhm,
geometric.
mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty. Then this one has little peppermints.
Christmas peppermints.
Yeah.
And what's it look like on the inside?
Oh, let's see what's
Yep.
Just
Just
a-
shows.
pattern.
Seems like it'd be pretty simple and pretty simple to But this is cute because it
I
has
like that piping.
a stripe, the candy cane stripe
Uh-huh.
piping underneath the
The neckband.
neckband. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are really pretty.
So 3 little ladies are like, are they angels or
They're
are they
little
little ladies?
angels,
Yeah,
I
angels.
thought.
I guess those aren't poofy sleeves. Those are
Well-
wings. Those are wings.
We'll call them little ladies'
Well,
poofy sleeves,
yeah.
you know.
I love, this is a really simple geometric.
It's my favorite because it's just geometric with a few little flowers
That's
scattered.
nice.
I can do that.
Yeah, that's really nice. Pretty.
Yeah.
And then
Simple.
here we go, the Bishop for All Seasons. It shows the 4 seasons on here.
So get started smocking. The convention's coming up, so
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Right.
you'll have something made ready to go.
Well, when we were playing with the kit for the I don't have one in front of me, the smocked bishop kit with the pumpkins on chambray, I thought, you know what, covered buttons would be really cute with that pumpkin right in the middle, and so I had a hard time like getting that pumpkin right in the middle. And I thought, all right, I need to do something. And then I had an idea about, look at this Swiss fabric that's so beautiful. it has embroidered bows on white. And so I put iron-on interfacing on the back. And I thought this would be very cute. I'll show you here, but I'll go to the overhead on this one. With a bow right in the center. Uh-oh. We almost lost our connection on there. But though here is a bow right in the center. And Christy and I were saying, wouldn't that be cute on a white dress?
Oh yeah.
With blue accents, and then
you could do some blue piping, and it would be really sweet.
So I thought, how am I going to get that? Centered just right? And so I was fiddling around, and I drew a circle, 1.5-inch circle for this 3/4 inch button cover, and I drew it on, traced it on paper, like right here. You can see it. And then I found the center of this little circle by folding it in half and in half again, and I just clipped a hole in the center, and then traced it onto, this is the back of one of our order pads, traced it onto cardstock, and then took my scissors and poked a hole right in the center. And so then I went to my fabric, and I laid that little center hole right here. I laid it right over what I thought was the center of the bow, and took the pencil and traced around my cardboard. So that was my little template. And I kept thinking, there's got to be even a quicker way. And so I went on Amazon, and there is a quicker way. And I ordered one of these Circle Master. Look at these. So this will fit almost any size covered button. You just need, it'll tell you 1.5 inch, and this little circle is 1.5 inch for this 3/4 inch button. And that's much easier to put the 1.5 inch template around the bow, and then trace around the inside of this. It's
because
so much
you might
quicker.
not see, but on this template it has the lines.
It does.
Top and bottom and both sides, so that you can line those
You
up.
can really line it up.
Just like on your embroidery hoop, and so it makes it really easy to do.
So then you just go with your sharp little scissors and cut that out. And I thought, all right, now how am I going to keep it centered when I cover the button? Here's the little, I'm going to show you here. Here's the little cap. Because if you've ever covered buttons, you know there's a little cap part. And then there's the shank part that you have to put together. So I just got a glue stick, and I glued the button circle, the cutout fabric, to the center of the button cap. I did, like last night, I did about 10 of them or something like that, and let it dry. And I have a button covering machine, and so I went over to the button covering machine. Then you put that down, you just punch that down into a form, and it folds that fabric up around the edges, and then you have your little covered button back. Put that down in there like that. Put that. This all the fabric will be turned up and will be inside of here, and actually it's like this. And you punch those two things down together, and you come out with a button. See, my circle is a little large, so I have some edges hanging out here that I have to trim up. But man, that was quick. And if you don't have to center a motif like a pumpkin or a bow, if you don't have to center that, then all you have to do is cut your opening, and it's no big deal. And we do have a cutter with that thing that will cut through several layers of fabric. Hadn't worked for me yet, but it's supposed to.
Well, I love these buttons because they have this cloth part on the back that you sew through to sew it on. It's not like that little metal loop on the back. This is so cool because it doesn't hurt the back, and it doesn't cut your thread when you're trying to sew the button on.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's called a canvas back, and back 25 years ago when I bought this, and I bought every size covered button that they make, and every button back, and every one of the little
So
cutters
she's
and
got
all the
teeny tiny ones.
yeah,
up to
they're
big
3/8
ones.
of an inch. You
Yeah.
can't even buy 3/8 of an
No,
inch in
that's- Right.
a container, in
Yeah.
a what you call it. You know, like you
Mhm.
can get them covered buttons in all the other sizes. So you can. We even have 3/8 of an inch.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, that was kind of fun, and but it's kind of fun to do it with. We want to take some of our Liberty of London scraps too,
Oh yeah.
and make some covered buttons. But I thought I'd show you just like, okay, how am I going to find the center of that thing, and line that up? So it's like, I can do this. I can do this.
Michelle DeBrocchi says, I love to cover buttons.
They're fun and they're really pretty on outfits
They
too.
are, and they're really
they
not that
dress it
hard,
up.
right? They're
Yeah.
not that hard to do.
Uh-uh.
So these should like stay together really well, and yeah, back behind that machine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm so thankful we brought this down to the shop and didn't leave it
Leave
up
it
in
at
my
the
old
house,
sewing room,
yeah.
and because that's a little treasure right over there. It looks like a cast iron thing. You know, it is a cast iron thing with a big old handle that just you pop it down like that, and
Well, Leilani asked what kind of glue stick you used, and I'm going to assume you used
Oh.
what you found.
don't be
What-
looking over here.
What was
I
laying
use
around?
either the Bowen or the sew line.
That's not true.
I use. Where is a glue stick? I
Yeah.
need a glue stick.
His name is Elmer.
Yeah.
No, this is Scotch.
Scotch.
Oh, okay.
She had her scotch today.
Yeah. I'm like, I know we have a glue stick around here. You know, I hate to open a new one. And I like using the sew line, but it's like, I
Yeah.
do not want to open a new one just to glue that button on there.
No.
Okay.
Well, Vicky said, I've never heard of a button covering machine. And Sue said, Liberty covered buttons sound wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
they
need
are.
to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
those will be fast and easy to do.
Well, this one, I think the company that I bought I don't know how many gross of each size I got, but I have at least, I mean, it's a nice big bag of the lids of the backs and a nice big bag of the cap tops. Now, these are aluminum, and which, so are all the ones that we buy in the little packages. But I put iron-on interfacing behind this white because the gray from the aluminum
Yeah, I
make
do
it
that a
look
lot
a
of
little
times.
bit gray.
If it's a light fabric, I
Yeah.
always put a backing on it because you can see through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's even the tiniest
Yeah.
bit gray here.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on the pumpkin ones too. No,
Yeah.
I don't think it needed it, but might have been why it was a little bit harder to cut because of the interfacing
Yeah.
back there. Yeah.
Well, Diane says she loves the covered buttons, but the shanks seem to cut the thread, and her daughter comes home without the buttons. So
That's
glad
why
to
these-
learn about the canvas.
Yeah, these are awesome
Gosh.
because they that was the first thing I thought. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I got frustrated trying to sew the button on and then it cuts the thread
You know,
and you start over.
when I bought these, I had this really good idea that I never followed through on, and that was I bought enough that I could package them
Mm-hmm.
to sell them to people that wanted to do their own with this canvas back. And I even bought, you know, in the kit part where you have the little form, the little mold that you
Right.
punch that down in. I even have a big old bag of those and the little puncher thing for every size. But do you think I
Well-
ever sat down and divided these up? Never, not once.
Well, I know of a very good job for some
Yeah.
really nice grandkids that come over to visit
you know
next
what?
time.
That is a good idea.
It is a good
That's-
idea because they like to count buttons and they like to do
sometimes,
that stuff.
sometimes they'll
Yeah.
say, "Oh, Gigi, I don't want to count buttons again. Oh, not again."
Well, I
not
think this would be a
again."
great job for them.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah,
Well, I have all the parts and pieces.
that's right.
It's like getting it out there. That's the like I can cook a meal for 50 people, but getting it from the stove to the table is very hard for me.
Just leaving the pots. They'll leave it anyway.
I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like, yeah, I'll make the food.
Okay.
You're gonna have to tell people where to sit and that kind of stuff. So, let's see. Let's look at Regina's project. Oh my word!
I'm
We
gonna
have
show
to.
you.
Just look at the time it is.
Now I know a lot of you ladies who embroider will go like, well, you know, but this is what I got done in 5
man.
days.
I'm gonna go
And
to the
I did
overhead
not rush.
here so
I
they
did
can.
not. I took my time, and this project was absolutely meant for me because
Look at
this was our teacher designed this project for us, and she took the designs from Queen Elizabeth's coronation in 1953, and it's the flowers and things from each of the England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And she put the designs all together because it has the thistle, has the shamrock, has the English rose, and the acorn. And I mean, she explained all this.
These are incredible. I'm going to slide this down.
In the center is the Queen's initials, and the date she was had the carnation.
Turned around this way, Regina, so it's facing
And
you.
it just so happens that those were my initials and my birth year. So
Look at here.
it was meant for me to do.
So here is the beginning of R right here.
And
Look
there's
at
the
those
E.
crystals and pearls and gold work.
Yeah, we just, we
Oh,
did
my
just enough to
goodness.
know how to finish the thing because we had to know every stitch and what to use for those stitches and the threads and
this
stuff.
way.
And so those are the main parts. And so now I can go and finish the whole thing because I know what to do with them.
Wow.
So it's just,
Well, tell me about the acorns. I just
And I'll
think they're
show you.
so cute,
these acorns, they're beaded at the top.
right?
And then they have gold wire at the bottom. That's the gold wire sewing. And the gold thread they call it,
So
but it's
there's-
actually a gold wire.
and there's gold
And it's
wire
like
in
a
here.
little spun thing, like a loop. You could pull it and it stretches apart because we had to do that with something. But you don't for those. You just cut little pieces of it, and then you put your needle through the center of it and sew it down. And so it was really interesting how she did that. And this is the same stuff up here, but you had to snip teeny, like a
Quarter of an inch,
eighth of an inch. I mean, even smaller, 16th inch piece. And then you sew each one of those separately to fill in the extra spaces.
That's so gorgeous.
So all this will have the stones over here and down here, these parts, and then all the rest will be filled in with gold.
Well, how do they separate your kit? I mean, do they have lots and lots of little packages, or they have something that tell you this is for the acorn
Yep.
and this is they do?
They had the little plastic bags that had each beads. They had the ones for all the different beads, like these and these. And then these, they were separate packs. And then they had all the floss. This is just regular floss, DMC floss. They had all the colors for that. And her book is very comprehensive. And it tells you in there exactly which threads and how many strands to use. And there were only a few times that we cut a piece that was about a yard long, but most was about 18 inches. And that's what we used to sew with. And so, yeah, the kit was done up really beautiful. So they provided.
There's more than one color thread on
Yes,
here.
that's chain stitch, and it's two colors
Oh,
of
I
thread,
love
one inside the
that.
other.
It gives it dimension.
And then this will have gold that runs down through here.
Oh,
So it really will. I'll pull up a picture on my
show.
phone of the finished product. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll just slide that one off and put it in my
Yeah.
bag, because it was really, really
Wow.
pretty.
okay.
Come on, turn sideways. There we go.
Let's see if we can get it under the. Oh
Can
man,
you see this?
yeah.
It's really
Look at
Can
that.
see
Oh,
the-
that's beautiful.
ER, and you can see the gold that runs
Wow.
through, and all the vines are done in gold thread, and then like the outline of this flower will be in gold.
Man.
These will have 2 rows of stones for Elizabeth II. So it's just a beautiful project that she did.
It is gorgeous.
So
I love the thistle flowers.
can you hold that over there, Michelle? Maybe they can see it closer.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
so
the thistles
pretty.
are so pretty.
That's so pretty.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's
See it now.
it's a piece of work. It'll be a while.
Do they talk about how many hours it would take somebody if they worked steadily on it? What?
No, she didn't, because she did hers in class, which was really funny because she said she didn't just sit down and work up that piece. So she drew it, and she knew what it was going to do. But then during the class, she worked everything like this she did in class, but she went a whole lot faster than we did. So she was stitch, 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 stitch,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what first
So
when she had taught.
finished hers during your class?
Not during our class,
Oh.
but other classes. That piece she had finished at other classes that she taught. So she would continue working on this one at her next class.
This is a like a
Canvas.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a twill weave.
Yeah.
I want you. I don't
We
want to
can-
hurry you through this, but hey, will you bring that another time? Bring that gold thread and
I'll
show
bring
it.
it. I'll bring the kit.
Because I think
for
that,
it.
yeah, the kit.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the kit.
For
Regina went shopping.
Yeah, we went up to Portobello Road Market, which was really fun, crazy market. But anyway, this was something I found, and I was looking at a table of it was antique stuff, and I thought, what is that? So I picked it up and I looked. This is a ruler. It's a 2
Oh,
foot
that's neat.
ruler. I thought that is really cool. So I bought that to throw in my sewing basket.
Yeah, that's neat.
They used these back at the turn of the century, the lady said.
Inches on it. I can't believe it.
And so I thought, well, that is just really cool. It
I
folds
love
all
that.
up, and she said at the turn of the century they made these. She said, oh, everybody had one in their basket. Okay, now I have one in mine.
That's right.
This was my real prize here that I thought I found. There were only 2 places that sold linens and handwork stuff, and so one was standing on a table on the side of the street, and the other one was in an antique market that was suffocatingly hot down in there. And so we went through both of them, and along with a gazillion other people scratching. You know how it is at a flea market when you got a table and that's all you got room. And this little bonnet was there, and this was made in 1870. The handwork is so pretty on this bonnet.
Look how tiny. Let Michelle show
You can show it up close there.
Instagram first, and then we'll
And
come
that
back
lace
and
around
go to
the edge is all handmade.
overhead. So the lace, is it one like one of these?
Yeah.
And well, actually, I'll go to the overhead now, and then we'll show you the bonnet. So the lace is like one of these. These are handmade, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
Here, you want to show this?
And so it's
That's
so
amazing.
tiny that I mean, it's really hard to even see
I'll try
because
to
the
get a little
design
bit
is so
closer.
tiny. You can
But
see
even
this.
the back.
Yeah,
Yeah. Look at that.
it's little.
It's like a honeycomb design or something. But look at the tiniest little
But the stitches, you
tiny,
see those
tiny little.
stitches?
Yes, I do.
I mean, I was having like,
Yeah.
wow, look at those little stitches.
That's amazing.
And to think that people did this with no LED lights and no real lighting, you know, when
Right.
they sat by a window wherever they were sewing in the room. I mean, it's just incredible to me that people could sew, ladies could sew this stuff, because even
that
look
looks
at those,
like
look
a
at that.
plus. This is a linen that is so
Look at that
fine.
little-
Look at this little hem stitch.
Yeah,
I mean, this
Hand-
linen. Oh
hem
my
stitched.
goodness. And then these are all hand done. It looks like lace, but it's
Yeah.
really a stitch.
it was just so
Wow.
pretty. I was like, okay, that's what I'm buying for
pretty.
myself. I'll take this home and put it in my sewing room, and you know, my
That's-
kids will
that's
throw this
pretty.
out one day because they won't have a clue what.
You need to write it all up.
But I will, and I'll keep
put it
this
with
paper with it, and probably eventually frame the
Yeah.
thing because I don't want it. I thought I'd put it in a glass dome on a thing, you know.
I wish we could find linen like that still.
That
That
linen
would
is
be wonderful.
fabulous. And then these pieces I found.
That's pretty.
This is all done on netting.
Oh, I see that.
This is all hand done on netting. And these, there were
Need a
4,
blue piece of fabric or something
5
to put
of
it on.
these medallions. And I thought, okay, these would be really pretty down the front of a christening gown.
Oh yeah,
You know, I
that's
thought
gorgeous.
So Jane found a set too.
Okay,
I
I'm
think
gonna
there
go
were
to the
6 in
overhead.
hers, and that we both thought, oh, we could use these like just to come down a gown or around a gown or something.
What?
You know.
Oh yeah. Let's
But this lace
might
is
be
all
able
done
to.
by hand on netting.
put it on here, and they can
Yeah.
see the design.
There you can see it.
Look at how pretty that is.
It was just beautiful.
Wow.
And that's the back side.
Mhm.
That's the front. No, that's the
This
front.
is the front
yeah.
side.
And you can see how tiny those little stitches are
That's
too.
beautiful.
And it's been cut out and then sewn on the netting.
Very nice.
Yeah. So then we just
Okay, now
got
these are pretty.
kind of excited over all
Can
this
you
stuff.
show? Oh
Look
yeah.
at that. Wouldn't that be pretty? On
Mhm.
even one of these on a christening gown or something, if you did little initials in the or the dates in
This
those.
is like princess lace
Mhm.
right here, and this is made from yardage of that
Uh-huh.
princess lace pinched together. Would you? Oh, I love this one.
Let's see if that's the right. That's the right side there.
That's pretty.
Instagram's gonna get spoiled today.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Look at this one.
Oh,
little,
that's. Oh, I love that.
little
so
flowers.
sweet.
Yeah. Can't you see that in the back of a bonnet?
Yeah. Oh, this would
mean,
be beautiful. in
It
the
would be
back of
so
a
pretty.
bonnet.
Here's another little one like the other, kind of like the other. It's
Look
just
at
smaller.
this tiny, tiny, tiny little hem stitching. Wow. But this is all like princess lace done in here. Right?
No.
Isn't that what it's kind of like that? Oh,
Yeah.
this is pretty.
No, I thought that was really pretty, just the way they had done that.
Wow.
And then we went to handkerchiefs. They pulled out
Yep.
another box that I was started going through with it. All this is handmade lace on the handkerchief.
And so they had a person they knew they could get some money from.
They did.
It's like,
Well, believe it
hey,
or not, they weren't real expensive.
bring out the stuff. These are pretty.
And she was working with somebody that was buying this way more than we were. She really didn't mess with us. We just went through the box
Yeah.
and picked out what we wanted, and
Sweet.
she worked with somebody else. But it was just such pretty work. Look
Oh,
at
I
that.
love-
Isn't that
I
pretty?
love
Look
this.
at that.
See the corners here kind
Mhm.
of make me think of what's on that bonnet you
Uh-huh.
that you pulled out, and I think this is a really super lightweight linen. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And you
that.
just wonder how they did all that. That's what just made me so enthused.
Right.
Instead of going to the class, I thought this one was pretty. I thought, oh, that'll make a cute little bonnet.
That looked
I think
pink
it's the
back
other-
here.
It is
It
pink.
is pink.
She had a pink and a blue.
Wow.
So I took the pink one.
You can barely see it, and it's just
Mhm.
like over here with the white. Beautiful.
And then these
Whoops.
two were alike, but they
Oh,
were really
I love
pretty.
that.
Oh, that little part there. They're so delicate. Why did
Oh, this corner is gorgeous. Wow. You give that to Michelle.
Yeah, you can hold that up far over there, Michelle.
Look at that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh.
That was so.
and this
tiny.
sweet little
Yeah.
bow.
I will never be that good. I can tell you right now.
Man.
I could be 92 and I still wouldn't be doing this.
But what kind of thread and needle?
I have no. It's tiny, whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, your eyes. I think my eyes would be. I'd be blind in a day trying to do
this
this.
is the same as the one you
And then I
just...
bought this piece. I don't know why I bought this piece, but I just thought it was really cool looking. It's such an odd color,
Looked like a butterfly.
and I thought, I don't know what I'll do with that,
Ooh.
or if I might frame that too. But I just thought they were
Let Michelle
gorgeous.
show
You
that.
know.
This
Everyone's loving these. And Michelle said you could save them for your granddaughter's weddings.
Yeah. I could do that. I could put them on
is... Wow.
all different kind of things.
This, I wonder, this thread is so shiny. I wonder if it's a silk thread or something.
Probably is because
But
it does have a lot of
that's
shine.
really beautiful. The quality of this is...
Mhm.
I
Look
mean,
at that.
that's little tiny swirls of
Yeah, thread.
thread. Oh my goodness.
It just is, but they did kind of look like, but I even thought like, you know, on the yoke, like here,
Boy, right.
you know, could
Yeah,
put it up
you
here.
could put it on a
Mhm.
like a gown, a
Yeah.
dressing gown, or a. Oh my!
But the color was so
goodness.
odd, and I just spotted that, and I thought, oh, that is really
I love
pretty.
it. It's got a
I
little.
like the delicacy of the work.
Well, the delicacy is fabulous. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, Regina, that is beautiful.
So those were my little hauls, you
Ooh.
know.
That is so pretty. Wow. You know, I want to show. I know we're running over, but I wanted to show this
Mhm.
because that little pink hanky made me think of this. We got in a batiste that is a really. I said to Christy when she had it under the lights taking picture that it kind of has a hint of pink to it. And now right here, you almost can't see it, but if you put it, we got some like champagne. We started pulling out floss, but if we put that over pink, a pink fabric, it really did take on. Let me see if I can do it. Or if
It
we
takes
had
on
up
the
a
pink
pink
color?
netting, or if you just needed just the right lining for something that was super light pink. This is beautiful, and it's
it feels wonderful.
isn't that nice? It feels amazing.
Mhm.
And so this is like 60 inches wide, 56, something like that. And we call it pearl, and regular 15.98 a yard, and it's $9.98. We just got it in, but I think it's so special. So I did want to show it because we
Yeah.
just got it in, and we've looked sometimes for a lining that's like the
Sometimes
perfect.
this is a different color.
It
And this
is,
would go
yes.
really great with some things that you don't. It's not white. And it's not ecru. It's
I
not
know.
anything. But this is a pretty color.
And so sometimes, you put it under like bobinette or cotton lace fabric or
Right.
something like that, and it might be just the right thing. So
Mhm.
we were walking around trying to find just the right thing. But anyway, I wanted to show this, and then one other thing that is too awesome to pass up.
Okay, I can't wait because I haven't seen it.
You haven't, and we put something on sale that is and it's wool, but it's such a fabulous piece, made in Italy.
Oh,
Feel how this.
oh yeah.
And so this, you could do.
Oh,
You could make coat. You could make a baby blanket. You could make a.
oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, the quality
Yeah.
of this, it is marked down to how much a yard? Do you know? 25. It was $50 a yard, and this is every bit as amazing as the Speckler Vogel.
Oh,
wool
this is
flannel.
beautiful.
Yeah, I want you to feel it because
Uh-huh.
this is so gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
And it says made in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
woolen flannel, original, right? Does that say
Yeah.
original?
Uh-huh.
Woolen flannel.
Vitali Barbaris.
But
I know something.
we don't have a lot of it. And when Christy said, you probably won't want to put this on sale, I'm like, oh, I don't, but we are. And this color, can you believe it, is wonderful.
It is beautiful.
So you can use it for adults, children.
Make a really pretty little jacket.
Yeah,
Oh.
it'd be great.
$25.98 a yard.
$25.98 a yard. It was regular $50, and actually was probably originally way more than that.
Mm-hmm.
The regular for us was $50. So we have a little bit left, and it's on sale. So
Better get it while you
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
because it won't be here.
So yesterday, Emma and I were so excited to share with you my daughter-in-law Kristen's new website.
Yeah.
So Kristen has she has a business that is just so interesting, and she does a great job. Everything she does is like beautiful.
Oh, I went to the website and it's so pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
Oh, it is really pretty.
So she makes handmade soaps, all natural products, and her website is myforflowers.com. And there it's all spelled out. 4 is spelled out. So we have 2 in our giveaway today. We have 2 of them. They're really sweet. And she and the girls, they raise flowers and dry them, and they use them to embellish their handmade
cute.
soaps. Look how pretty it looks with this wool. If you win this, you're gonna have to buy some wool. No.
Oh, that's right. You want some soap.
But anyway,
so sweet.
are they sweet? Yeah. So we have shop our products at myforflowers.com, and then in this giveaway we have some cotton plissé from Spain, and we have some covered buttons with pumpkins on them, and we have some vintage patterns, including this adult pattern. I thought this was kind of cool
I did too. I thought that was neat.
because this isn't, even though it's an old pattern, it doesn't look
Mm-hmm.
dorky.
No, it doesn't. And you know who I can see making that is Dana.
Oh, Dana, no kidding.
Dana would
Dana
love
didn't have her
that
name in
jacket.
here.
I know.
And then there's a skirt from Saks Fifth Avenue that Fred said.
Fred, I hope you win
it's his
that.
chance.
Honestly, then you'll be wearing something from Saks.
It's his chance to win a partial frock from Saks Fifth Avenue.
It will
Anyway.
be like I was when I went to Harrods and we went up. Jane and I went up on the International Designer Dress
Oh
Floor.
yeah.
That dress, we saw this dress and it was just fabulous. It was, so we were talking to a really sweet Chinese girl that worked in the shop, and because we asked if we could take a photo. Oh yeah, come in. And so she just stood there and kept talking to us. And she said that they only had like 5 or 6 other dresses hanging on the rack in there because it was a small shop. And she said in order to have a dress, you have to order it. Those are just their samples. And so some lady had come in and ordered that dress that we were looking at. and it was 27,000 pounds, and she had to pay that up front to order the dress. And I'm thinking, okay,
How many dollars is that? How does that translate?
well, you multiply by 3 and divide by 4, so
Okay.
that's how you get the number.
Wow.
And I'm just thinking,
34,917
Oh, 34,917.
with the exchange rate as of today.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
and it, I mean, I couldn't even got a leg in that dress because it was only about that
Yeah.
wide. I mean, but it was so beautiful, but it was all hand beaded. I mean, the top was just gorgeous. And after going to school and knowing how to do that, I would charge 27,000
Yeah,
pounds.
that's
you know.
right. That's right.
But I couldn't believe these dresses. And Jane and I went and sat down in some chairs in the middle of where they were evening gowns were. We were waiting to see somebody come out in something, you know, because the lady kept taking dresses to the dressing room, but nobody ever came out. So we didn't get to see anybody with a dress on, but it was like, oh, I want to see somebody in that dress. Because
Yeah.
they had some of the most outrageous things I'd ever seen, you know.
Wow. Oh, that's such a neat experience. But now we're going to draw a winner.
That's
Let's see.
right.
You ready?
Okay,
Ready?
here we go. Round and round. Who knows? Okay, this goes to Catherine Quells Jones.
Oh, wow.
Metler and Aurifil thread for me. This is a gorgeous giveaway. The floral fabric. I love the floral fabric.
Good.
Awesome.
Catherine
Congratulations,
Jones.
Catherine.
All right. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
You're going to love it.
We're so glad Regina's back. We've spent a long time with you today, but thanks for being with us.
Yes. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Regina, we need like 5 things for you to make next
Oh,
week.
this week is going to be busy.
I know. Bye, everybody.